Have you been struggling to get more camos unlocked on all of your guns while you're on that dark matter grind? Well, look no further as I'm about to give you some tips for each weapon class and category to show you exactly how you can get diamond the fastest. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new Disrupt Gaming Call of Duty video. I'm Carnage and today I'm going to give you some tips for every single class and how to get it diamond fastest so that you can get your camos up on that dark matter grind. Before we hop into all of these amazing tips, I want to know how many weapons do you have gold right now? That is our question of the day. Personally, I have my knife gold, I have a couple of SMGs, and then I'm working on my shotguns as we speak. So let me know how many you have. I'm interested to see at what level you are at with those. Now let's hop directly into it. Speaking of shotguns, we're going to start with those. And a lot of these tips are going to be similar. I'm going to kind of teach you how to play with each one to maximize your efficiency with getting these camos. So like I said, for the shotgun, first, playing in the hardcore mode is going to be essential. A lot of these guns we pick in hardcore, that way you can actually get the kills much faster with less bullets, and it makes it a lot easier for some of the challenges. For instance, one-shot kills maybe, or even headshot kills is easier in hardcore mode. Now, another thing is you need to use certain attachments on these shotguns based on what camo that you're going for. The shotgun specifically, their attachments can change how the gun is played very, very much. Let's say you're using the shotgun and you need to do some long shots or whatever the camo challenge is that you're working on. You need to change it so that it does more damage at a further range. Or maybe even change it so it does more damage at a closer range if you're working on one-shot kills. All these things need to be taken into effect and you need to pick your certain attachments based on whatever camo you are trying to get at that time. Next, with the LMG. The same tip with hardcore applies here. Playing in hardcore is going to make your LMG almost always one or two shot your opponents. Sometimes it'll take a couple more bullets, but your first 1 to 2 bullets will usually kill them, especially if you can hit a headshot no matter at what range you are. Now the downside to these LMGs, even though they do so much damage and they have such a good fire rate, is that they are so slow. The LMGs are some of the slowest guns in the game, so honestly, if you are just trying to grind the camos, I would honestly recommend trying to camp and try not to move around too much. Maybe find a building, find a window that's good to sit in, and just spray people down as they run by. It might be a little bit of a scummy move to do, but if you're just doing it to get your camos, I think it is okay. You gotta do what you gotta do in order to get those camos unlocked, because trust me, it's really tough in this game. Now for the assault rifles, you can play in hardcore or normal mode here. Hardcore, you're going to get the kills faster, but enemies are also going to kill you faster. Normal, with this assault rifle, if you can play those medium to long range engagements, you're actually going to be much more efficient. So normal or hardcore mode work fine here. And then for the ARs, you want to play domination or really any objective mode. These objective modes really favor these ARs because whenever you have an AR, you want to be taking those medium to long range fights. And if you know where the objective is, you can definitely easily figure out where enemies are going to be at, which makes this a very good way to get those camos on the AR unlocked. Try to use distance as much as you can, as many players are going to be running around with SMGs, even with pistols and rocket launchers if they are also trying to get those camos unlocked. So use that distance to your advantage so that you can pick up some extra kills, and also use that prediction from those objectives in order to figure out exactly where your opponents are going to be. Before we head into our next section though, I do want to remind you guys to don't forget to subscribe and like this video. If you go scroll down just a little bit real quick, hit the subscribe button, turn on that bell icon, and like this video if you have enjoyed the tips so far. Let's hop into our next section, which is the SMGs. The submachine guns, I recommend playing hardcore and playing objective game modes. The reason this is because with the SMGs, you want to be playing hardcore so that you can get the kills very quickly, because if you're playing normal, SMGs takes many more bullets in order to secure a kill. Also, I recommend objective game modes because, again, for the same thing with ARs, you're actually able to predict where the enemies are going to be at, which is very, very useful because opposite of the ARs, you need to be playing close range encounters. Close range encounters with the SMGs are so powerful, especially in hardcore. You're able to get those camos done very, very quickly. And really, you just need to run and gun and try and farm kills. Right now, SMGs, especially like the MP5, even the Milano, are very powerful when you go into hardcore mode. So if you can run and gun and farm up some kills with some hip fire and even some aiming in on medium range fights, you can easily get those camos done very, very quickly. Again, just make sure you're in those objective game modes so that you're not getting run up on by enemies and attacked from enemies by all sides whenever you don't know what is going on. Next, tactical rifles. These are pretty basic. There aren't really many tips that you can explain with the tactical rifles because they're pretty average guns. I would recommend playing normal or hardcore depending on what you prefer. Objective-based game modes, again, even if you want to run like a kill confirmed or something or a team deathmatch, that could still work because the tactical rifles are pretty strong. If you're aimed in on an enemy and you press your trigger, odds are you're going to kill them before because your bullets are just doing so much damage. And also you have that fast fire rate if you're using something like the M16 even. So these are very strong weapons. Definitely use distance here because if you go up against players with those SMGs, you are going to be dying very often. So try and use distance. Maybe do some sort of mixture between the LMG and the AR method. So maybe camp a little bit, but also try and go for those kills while still maintaining your distance. Alright, moving on, we have snipers. Snipers are a pretty tough one to get in this Call of Duty because snipers are not that good compared to some previous games. Hardcore or normal doesn't matter. It really depends on if you're able to hit your shots. These snipers don't do as much damage as we are used to. If you hit the abdomen, most of them are not going to kill, which is why hardcore could be a good idea. But at the same time, you are going to be dying so much faster, so it's really just the trade-off on can you hit those chest to headshots, or are you hitting them in the legs, hitting them in the abdomen a lot? That really is going to determine whether you want to play hardcore or normal, because in hardcore, you got that less health. Now, camping works, and I think it is honestly preferred for this method just because of how slow these snipers are. The snipers are so slow that camping is really the only way you're going to be able to effectively do it. If you are able to play extra aggressive, it is going to be very, very helpful for you because you're able to get so many more kills simply by being aggressive with those snipers. Again, camping's the safe way, playing aggro is the more aggressive, faster way. Now, melee, do not play hardcore. When you're going for your knife, do not be playing hardcore because hardcore you have less health and you want to hit melee anyway. Any speed buffs you can get are good. Make sure you're running a very light class. Try to get any perks you can that may help you. Be very wiggly with this. Run around. Be sprinting all the time. Try to dodge and dash around bullets. And try and also get behind the enemies because you can get a lot of backstabs and easy kills with the knife just by getting behind the enemy lines. Now we have pistols. We're starting to wrap up. We have a couple of these secondary options. First off, pistols. Hardcore mode is very necessary. Use only your pistol and also aim for heads. Aiming for heads can be very strong with pistol. It can be kind of difficult to do sometimes, but sometimes in hardcore, if you hit that one perfect headshot, one bullet, that player is dead. It can be very, very powerful. With pistols, you need to be playing extra aggressive. This is the most aggressive one that you are going to be doing out of all of the guns is your pistols because you're most likely going to be faster than the enemy. With the attachments you can put on, you want to get your ADS time up, your sprint time up, your sprint to fire time up. Basically max this thing out on speed so that when you're running around, you're able to react much faster than your opponents, pull your gun up, and easily shoot them way before they'll be able to get you. Finally, we have launchers. Launchers is a pretty tough one. This honestly might be the hardest one in the game right now to get in multiplayer. I would recommend having your launchers as a secondary in every single class that you're running. While doing this, just while you're playing, grinding up your other camos, trying to always be shooting down kill streaks and maybe even pull it out and get a kill every now and then to help that level on your launchers. Again, this is one of those ones that grinding out on its own is going to be very, very difficult. So I'd recommend to do all of the other ones. And as you're doing them, just every now and then be using those launchers. And by the time you're done with everything, you might have that launcher in gold and in diamond if you can do both of them. Finally, I have a couple of general tips that may help you. For instance, running the field mic upgrade, very helpful for LMGs, ARs, and SMGs, I do believe, because you can get those challenges done pretty easily, as well as UAV. And remember to use your secondary. Even if you're trying to get the camo for the MP5, for instance, make sure you're using that launcher that's in your secondary, or if you've got a pistol in there or a melee in there, use that secondary because slowly grinding those up is going to be much better than having to completely focus on just getting a launcher for multiple days in a row. All right, wow. We just went over some tips for every single weapon class, how you're going to be able to get them diamond much, much faster. I hope this video did help you out. If it did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel as we upload Call of Duty content all the time. If you haven't already, go check the link in the description to the Disrupt Gaming store to go check out the merch. You can see it on screen right now. Pretty cool stuff. If you are watching to the end of this video, I appreciate you so very much. And here at Disrupt Gaming, we all do. Thank you again for watching the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one.